Well, last month, Mayor Eric Adams announced 5% cuts for every city agency in an effort to deal with a $7 billion budget gap.
Those cuts have just hit the FDNY, and beginning this month, there will be fewer firefighters on trucks at 20 engine companies. While the reductions will save the city $1 million a month, the union says it's also putting you at risk. Joining us this morning, Andrew Ansbro, the president of the Uniformed Firefighters Association. Nice to have you back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
So what are your concerns? Is there really a correlation between having this, it's only certain firehouses, right?
Absolutely. There was a study done over 30 years ago that shows having that extra firefighter on an engine can reduce the time it takes to get water on a fire by 50%. So in an era right now where we know we're having e-bike fires at an alarming rate, 5 years ago we didn't know what an e-bike fire was. Now they're a large part of what our business is. And we know these fires start off explosively. And we're finding that there are more and more victims in these fires. There was a fire last night. I believe someone was killed. There was an e-bike involved. We're pulling more victims out of these fires. Having that additional set of hands is crucial.
Is there one particular fire that you know of that would have changed the outcome, or would it some kind of difference with having these extra people there?
I'm glad you asked. 2 years ago when the mayor came into office, they had taken the 5th firefighter away. It's a medical leave portion of our contract. Medical leave was high, but Bill de Blasio was ignoring it because he realized it was worth the investment to keep the firefighters in those engine companies. When the mayor came in, new management team removed that firefighter, and within a week we had the Twin Parks fire in the Bronx where 17 people were killed. Now we know 2 of those engines in the first floor engine companies would have had an additional firefighter. We believe that would have put the fire out faster. But also there would have been extra staffing to help get the people out of the building. We know 17 people died in a stairwell. They suffocated. If you had more hands pulling them out of that building, lives could have been saved. So the administration agreed, and they brought that firefighter, the staffing back as soon as it was explained to them, because they didn't think it was worth the risk. And now, due to the budget crisis, they feel that this is a risk they're willing to take.
And so this is a 5th firefighter position. It is in about 20 firehouses throughout the city.
20 engine companies in the city.
And is it usually the busiest areas? I mean, these are areas where you often see the most activity?
Absolutely. They put it in the busiest engine companies in the city. Again, this program went into place in 1996, and for an example, my engine company that I used to work in Harlem, 58 engine, when they put the 5th firefighter back in 1996, they were doing 3,700 runs a year. It was one of the busiest in the city. Last year they did over 6,000 runs. Every one of these engine companies, their runs have almost doubled in the last 30 years. And we should be putting more firefighters on engine companies, not taking them away. Based on the e-bike fires alone, we should be increasing staffing.
I mean, how much money are we talking about here that would be saved by taking this away?
They expect to save about $7 to $8 million over the course of the next 7 months. That is 1/10 of 1% of what they need to save to balance this budget. Surely they could find that money elsewhere.
All right, so the FDNY, the city actually has a statement for you guys, and they said basically the 5th firefighter position is a contractually agreed upon number that depends on medical leave levels. You mentioned that.
Absolutely.
There are only 20 companies throughout the city that have such a position, and it is routinely added and removed to address staffing needs based on medical leave. So they're making it seem like it's really not a big deal.
Well, they're making it seem like it's something we agreed to. It was this was something that was agreed to 30 years ago, where the head count of the FDNY was much higher. They've cut, they closed 6 engine companies in 2003. Mike Bloomberg reduced staffing by took 60 of the firefighters away, and we fought to get 20 back. So we've constantly been fighting this, but the actual head count of the FDNY is at this point probably 1,000 firefighters less than what we should have. So we have more firefighters, we have less firefighters working more hours. Of course they're going to get hurt. But right now the number is 7.5%. We're only at about 8.2% medical leave on an annualized basis for 1,000 less firefighters. It's really a minuscule number, and they're penny pinching, and it's going to cost lives.
And you mentioned the e-bike fires, which we're hearing on a regular basis, which is alarming.
Another one this morning.
Yeah, another one this morning. Can we talk a little bit, I don't know if this is with your union, but big story today in one of the newspapers about FDNY inspections of buildings, and that, the city was fast-tracking, the mayor's office was trying to fast-track some of these inspections for politically associated real estate people to get buildings open a little bit quicker. Will the staffing shortage affect those inspections?
No, this is just firefighter staffing, but I was reviewing the report where it says they're looking to cut money. The other 90% of the money the FDNY is looking to cut, they're looking to cut civilian positions, but I did see that it didn't affect dispatchers and other groups as well as fire inspectors. So it doesn't seem like they're getting cut. They're going to keep the inspections going on time or faster than on time.
So why are you smiling when you say that?
Well, because they're cutting firefighting staffing, but they're not cutting civilian positions related to these inspections. And I wouldn't expect them to. They are politically motivated, but I mean, it is part of the function of the fire department to get these things going, and I don't believe, I'm not privy to any knowledge of any wrongdoing was done, and I would expect our job would be to expedite these things, especially embassies. I mean, it is the government's agency, it is the government's purview to keep the government up and running. The other business, I have no idea what happened or transpired, but you know, getting these things done is part of our business.
Are these cuts set in stone, as far as you know, that you can see? I mean,
well,
do you see any
contractually, the commissioner has the discretion to restore the staffing. You know, the mayor's office was involved 2 years ago, and they brought it back. They felt it wasn't worth it after that fire. I feel if we have another tragic event, there's going to be a lot of soul searching. 2 years ago, the mayor didn't know what was being cut when they cut it. Now he's fully aware of what he's doing.
And there's no way to go back, right?
Well, they could bring it back tomorrow if they wanted to. They just have to find the money elsewhere.
Andrew Ansbro, the head president of the Uniformed Firefighters Association, thank you so much
for
being on Good Day New York.